I'm proud to say, I am proud to say Ohio State, Notre Dame for the national championship in college football. Just sounds good. It just feels good. If you've been part of this journey, you know we picked Notre Dame against IU, we picked Notre Dame against Georgia, and we picked Notre Dame against Penn State. Why? Because of film breakdown. That's why. In Ohio State, we picked them against Tennessee, we picked them against Oregon, and we definitely just picked them against Texas. All right, I'm an Ohio State fan. I'm going to try to be unbiased as possible, but you Notre Dame fans know you've been part of this journey. You know, I usually just keep it 100 here. In this video, we're going to talk about both defenses. Both defenses are very good. I'm going to talk about structure. I feel like Texas just gave Notre Dame their playbook on how to beat Ohio State. So I'm going to talk about that. And obviously, I'm going to talk about Ohio State's incredible 4-2-5 spin down type defense. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. We're building something really cool here. We already have an awesome subscriber base who are commenting very intelligent comments about ball. A lot of folks here are watching know ball and they comment below. So check out the comments. If you know ball, comment below. Let us know personnel schemes, what you're seeing based on this video. You can even argue with me if you want, but nonetheless, yeah, please consider subscribing. We do film breakdown. We jump on the whiteboard. We also do analysis on like the mental side of football as well. But I try to keep everything, once again, just 100 on what I'm seeing, no emotions at all. That being said, as you'll notice, I did not make an Ohio State beat Texas video because when you're this close to a championship, the workday just continues. All right, it's 8 a.m. I'm filming this. The game ended, what, at midnight? This is a grind. All right, you're right there for both teams. Now you got to finish strong. Don't worry about your last game. Who cares that you won it? Now you're going for a national championship. Celebrate the first win, celebrate the second win. You don't celebrate the third win. You get to work. In terms of grades, this is how I see it. All right, Ryan Day is an A coach, really good at schematics. Marcus Freeman is also an A coach, really good at schematics, and his team plays extremely well disciplined. This should be a really good game. All right, I have Ohio State favored, and that's not because I'm an Ohio State fan. I just think have that a little bit more powerful of an offense, but I think both coaches are great. Both defenses are great. And so I give the edge to Ohio State. But nonetheless, we know you don't ever bet against a Notre Dame team with Marcus Freeman because they play with so much damn heart. But then again, Ohio State also has the heart. Should be a great game. Let's jump into the whiteboard. Basic Notre Dame formation, at least one of them, right? Receiver, 2 receivers, tight end, 5 down linemen, quarterback, running back. One thing I want to say is Jeremiah Love's a running back for Notre Dame. They also have a backup named Price who's very good, but Jeremiah Love is not good. He's incredible. And if you want a future bet on him winning the Heisman. But he's such an important aspect to Notre Dame's offense, and we saw that, right, where he was very limited the first half against Penn State, and then the second half he decided, hey, my knee is hurt, but I'm just going to play full go, and then that's when Notre Dame really started kicking it on. So this guy is very good. Jeremiah Love, Ohio State fans, watch out for him. Let's talk about Ohio State's defense. They are becoming iconic, especially if they win a national championship. They will go down as, in my opinion, one of the best defenses to ever play college football. They have a schematic that is one that I personally have never seen. All right, they run a 4-2-5. Okay, 4 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and then a rotation of 5 defensive backs. All right, they have 2 looks from this, and this is the first look right here. There's 3 guys I want to introduce you to if you're a Notre Dame fan. One is Caleb Downs. He is the free safety, and he is the best player on Ohio State's roster. I say he's the best player on Ohio State's roster because he has all the talent in the world and he's extremely instinctive. His comparable for me personally is Troy Polamalu mixed with Bob Sanders. If you guys remember Bob Sanders of the Colts, the guy safety used to come down and just crack people. Same thing. This guy can play every single position. He can play linebacker, safety, and cornerback, and he does all of them at an elite level, coached by Nick Saban for a few years, and then transferred to Ohio State. He also does punt returns. He is lethal, and he's the leader of this defense, in my opinion. Okay, then you have Ranson, who's the other safety. Okay, he's a strong safety. And then you have Simon, who is the middle linebacker. These 3 guys go in a rotation that is very confusing to an opponent. And this is why film study is going to be so important for Riley Leonard. They need to do film study, virtual headsets, try to get as many reps as you can get with scout team. Hopefully you have some type of technology that can help you. I heard Nebraska's got something like really cool. All right, but nonetheless, this is one look that they have. This safety downs will spin up and spin down, okay? He's theoretically supposed to be covering this zone of space. He does everything from the outside. Sometimes he blitzes, sometimes he stays home, sometimes he drops back, but he essentially plays a center fielder no matter where he's at. This guy, I'm telling you, is absolutely lethal. Let's jump into the next Ohio State defensive look. All right, now we got the next look, a little bit changed, right? Now we have Downs playing center field, we have Simon playing over here, and we have Ransom playing over here. Okay, one thing you'll notice is that look how far off the middle linebacker is, who is currently Downs. He's way up here playing like legit center field, okay? He, from this position, will do everything. He'll come all the way up and blitz. He'll stay back. He'll come in the middle. He'll just essentially play this entire zone. His eyes will be up. He'll be reading. Okay, he's incredible at reading route coverages and route combinations, and he can step on the gas within milliseconds to make a play and close in space. It's just very awkward for a quarterback to see nobody playing the true Mike position, like where a normal Mike middle linebacker is. This is something Riley Leonard is going to have to get comfortable with on tape, because you cannot spend time in the game getting comfortable with this. But Ohio State will do literally everything from this formation. Once again, Downs will come home, Simon will shift over, Ransom will blitz, Downs will cover here. I mean, it is just the box or triangle of movement between these three guys, no matter what formation they're in. And it's confusing, and it's even hard to watch for me on tape, quite frankly. That's how incredible this is. You got to be alert if you're Riley Leonard on this formation. And then last thing, a little tidbit, I'll have a separate video on Notre Dame's offense, but Notre Dame's offense needs to run the ball, and they just need to attack. They can't sit back like they had the first half against Penn State. They need to give Riley Leonard the keys to throw the ball downfield. He just showcased he can throw the ball downfield. Let the dude stretch the defense and throw the ball downfield. That would be my advice to Marcus Freeman and the coaches. Let's jump into Notre Dame's defense. Number one thing you got to know, Ohio State fans, about Notre Dame's defense is they are extremely well coached and extremely well disciplined, and they play really well together, which is, maybe you think common sense, but no, it's a very hard thing to do. These guys communicate well, and they get to the ball well. Every single time I watch them on tape, there'll be like 4 gold helmets around the ball making a tackle together. Rarely, honestly, is there like a solo tackle on Notre Dame's defense, because they just get off blocks really well, and they just move together like a full unit. Once again, comes down to coaching, comes down to a lot of heart that Notre Dame has. Notre Dame's defensive line is missing their best player, Mills, but nonetheless, these guys have been stepping up. Okay, they're fierce, they're huge, they're long, and they have really good hands, and they get off blocks. All right, I wouldn't say anyone's like utterly elite on their defensive line. Mills was, but now he's hurt. But they just are super, super good. Pretty much comparable to Ohio State's defensive line. I mean, it depends on, I would say I like Sawyer probably more than anybody else on Notre Dame's team, but nonetheless, I'm just saying, like, Notre Dame's defensive line, really good. Notre Dame also rotates like 4 linebackers, all right? Their main guy's Kaiser, but I'm sure someone will comment and tell me like the entire group. But yeah, and they actually have a good rotation, meaning like these guys are all serviceable, all good, all smart, and they play really good football. I think the best part of Notre Dame's defense, though, is their defensive backs. These guys are aggressive, they're smart, they play together, and they're always like on the ball. If the ball is in the air, they're going to be competing for the ball. They just find a way to always be there, okay? They don't get beat, they don't get burned very often. It's pretty rare, okay? They pretty much play in front of them, and the ball's in the air, then they go and attack. Very, very disciplined. What we just saw Texas do against Ohio State, I think, is really important. So we saw the first 2 games in the playoffs that Jeremiah Smith put on a clinic, and then we just saw that he had essentially nothing against Texas. And the question is like, well, how do they do that? All right. And is that the right move? I think that is the right move. All right. We talked about this. Ohio State lost to Michigan because they didn't attack the 3rd level, right? They didn't attack above the safeties. They just played like underneath. Like they chose to just play underneath. And then Texas forced them to play underneath, right? It's the kind of classic thing, and I've heard Tom Brady talk about this, is as a quarterback, are you comfortable and are you disciplined enough to throw the ball 5 yards, 7 yards, 4 yards, 5? Or do you have to always be moving down the field? Because it's kind of an illusionary trick. Because what Texas did was they just all dropped back. They essentially covered the second and third level, and they gave Ohio State the first level. And that's kind of a mind trick as a quarterback. So, Will Howard, can you handle this if Notre Dame does this? Are you comfortable just taking what the defense gives you? Is pretty much what I'm trying to say. The other thing that Texas did was they boxed in Jeremiah Smith, freshman receiver who's a stud. They boxed him in, meaning they essentially played man on a corner and they played a safety over top. So wherever he went, he had a guy on either side. He had a guy above him, he had a guy below him, and they even used a linebacker help every once in a while. So they would box in with the linebacker. This guy would drop and the linebacker would fill over. So that happened a bunch, and then this guy would spin over. That happened a decent amount against Texas. So I think Notre Dame will be able to do the same. I recommend that you guys play a double team on Love and you make someone else beat you. All right, Ohio State though, you got to do something to get Jeremiah Love open. Play him at the Z, switch him around, literally play him at the tight end position. I don't know, but get him on a one-on-one space. That's a normal situation where he's not double teamed is what I'm trying to say. You got to do it. All right, this game is going to be too competitive to just let your best player not touch the ball. I'm going to close on this on Notre Dame's defense. They trust themselves, and you see that because it'll be like third down, and they won't bring any blitz, and they trust that their defensive line is going to get there, and most of the time they do. Okay, they do though every once in a while start to bring a blitz look. All right, they'll like bring two guys even, but for the most part, they really trust that their defensive line is going to get home, and they really trust that their defensive backs are going to coverage, and that's what makes Notre Dame's defense so suffocating because they aren't expanding themselves. They're just playing straight up football, one-on-one. I'm better than you. I'm going to beat you. Like my defensive group is better than your offensive group on this play, and we're just going to play base D. And it doesn't look fancy on tape, but it just suffocates the opponent. And I've seen that time and time again because once again, great technique and great communication. Notre Dame's defense, they got it. All right, thanks for checking out today's video. Once again, please subscribe, like, and if you got an opinion, comment below, read the comments. I'm telling you, we're gonna have some good comments on this video, and I'll have a bunch more content on this. I just wanted to get this game going. Once again, we're grinding out here. We're not celebrating victories in the third round of a playoff. We're trying to get that fourth win to win a national championship on both sides. Here we go. Notre Dame, Ohio State. Should be incredible. All right, guys. Thanks again. We'll talk soon.